Today on the grid, it's episode, 500 and something, 600. It's hard to tell because I think we stopped counting. Anyway, we are doing blind photo critiques, but just on portraits because we have a very special guest in the studio today. Vanessa Joy is joining us. We're going to be looking at some portraits, and we've got some dandies. Anyway, Mr. Kuna will be Skyping in from the road. He is out. Yes, he is gallivanting. Yes, he is. He's a gallivantator. So he's going to be joining us. We got lots of giveaways today. We're giving away all kinds of stuff. We're giving away a Platypod grip. We're giving away some books. We're giving away V-flats. We're giving away just a ton of stuff, more than we really should give away, honestly. And let's see what else is happening. We've got news. We've got complaints. We got all kinds of stuff, and it all starts in just 11.5 seconds. Let's go.
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Well, welcome everybody. It's around 1-ish on Wednesday. Scott Kelby here, Erik Kuna standing by, and we are very fortunate to have Vanessa Joy here. Welcome to the show, Vanessa.
Thank you for having me. Can we start with the complaints, by the way?
Yes, we can.
Amazing.
We can absolutely start with the complaints, but we're glad to have you here. You were here doing a class.
I did.
I saw you teach live at a seminar a couple of years ago. It was a conference, like maybe WPPI or something.
Or imaging or one of those.
Maybe it was imaging. I saw you on stage, and I came back and I said, we have to contact her. She was killing it. And then yesterday, I'm working at home yesterday, and I'm getting texts from my crew saying, oh my gosh, she's so good. So I'm very excited to see your class, your course when it's done here. But we're glad to have you here, and that's why we chose portraits today, because Vanessa's here. We want to give her a chance to look at some stuff. So, though you shoot more than portraits.
I do.
Weddings,
right? But mostly I do photograph humans. Whether it's weddings, portraits, or even the corporate work I do, we have models and talent. And every once in a while we throw in some wildlife and landscapes.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're probably one of those people that it doesn't matter what you point your camera at, it's going to take a good picture.
The camera does take a good picture,
yeah,
right?
There's not the camera. It's like the person holding it, like whatever you point your camera at. I can point my camera at stuff and it takes terrible pictures. So, anyway, we're very glad to have you here. And Mr. Kuna, you're out there?
I'm out here.
Are you
somewhere
there
in cyberspace?
Somewhere in cyberspace, or in. Last time I talked to you, I think it was yesterday. You were in what? You were in Tennessee?
Tennessee, so we're outside the Smoky Mountains.
All right, outside the Smokies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, glad to have you here as well, Mr. K.
Yeah.
So, Mr. K, luckily it wasn't directly a complaint about the grid. But anytime, like, I go on, like, my blog at lightroomkillertips.com or go on Facebook, or somebody mentions that, Adobe just released the June update for Lightroom and Photoshop.
Oh, I heard about
right?
this.
And then they're listing all these great features. And there's some really, for a June update, I thought it was really pretty good. They added all this landscape masking, which now it looks at a landscape scene and lets you choose, I want to do the grass, I want to do the trees, I want to do the sky, I want to do water, whatever it sees in the image. It doesn't do every single thing, but it does enough of it, right? It does a good job. Just like the people ones will say, select hair, select face, facial skin, body skin, whatever. So they added that for landscape. The reflection removal tool is insane. It removes reflections. They also made big changes to how AI works. All this great stuff. And if you're a subscriber, you get all these for free. How many seconds, Erik, do you think it was before somebody said, you need to bring back the perpetual version?
11.2 seconds.
11.2 seconds. And people are, when are you going to bring back? I'm like, are you?
Like, it's dead, people.
Like,
Move
no,
on.
But Erik, here's what they don't realize. There's two things. Number one, it's been 12 years.
Yes.
It happened 12. Let it go. It's 12 years. Also, 12 years ago, Adobe's stock price was $40. Today, it's like $400.
Yeah, it's like, when will you like to stop making money, Adobe, please? Like, could you do that for us? We would appreciate it. Like,
never, guys, it's never
gonna happen.
But let's just pretend it did. This is what I think is interesting. So we went and looked at the inflation rate from a product that was done 12 years ago to today. So if you could buy a perpetual version, in other words, if Adobe sold a version that you could buy and own forever, it would cost, based just on the annual rate of inflation, it would be $1,133.
And then you would get no updates, which updates are coming lightning speed right now.
Right. The updates you would get with the perpetual are the same that they used to be. It would be every 1 year to 18 months for $150. However, that's just for Photoshop. The plan that we're on now, which most people are still paying $10, is $10 a month, is the plan that you're also includes Lightroom. Lightroom was originally $300 when it launched. Then later they dropped the price in half to $150. But if you use the standard tables, it would be $225. So if Adobe made the perpetual version of Photoshop available today with Lightroom, so Photoshop and Lightroom, it would be around $1,350. Eric, how many people are going to write a check for $1,350 for a piece of software that's going to need a $150 update in 1 year to 18 months? It's the stupidest thing. I mean, I'm just...
Well,
it's not only that. If you think about it that way, and you think about that's what it would cost you, and that's what it was, you had to pay a price, and that's what it was. That compared to today, that'd be like 10.4 years of subscribing to the photography plan.
Exactly.
So if you're using 10.4-year-old software, you got bigger problems.
I know, dude. I just don't...
the people that are still on the CS6 or whatever, you got to give it up.
I know.
Got to give it up.
But Eric, there's people that would rush to tell you. They would rush to go, oh, but I didn't upgrade every year. I didn't upgrade every year and a half. Okay, well, let's say you skip a year and a half. You had to pay $1,300. And
what are you going to skip 5 years, 7 years, 10 years?
Well,
Dude,
isn't the complaint now though that they are charging for how many times you use the generative AI?
No, they're not actually charging for how many times you.
That's what I saw this morning.
Depending on your plan, because this is very
the usage. I mean, I don't think many of us would get to the usage limit.
Well, hold on, but I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about this. So depending on what plan you either get a bunch of credits or no credits. When your credits run out, you don't have to buy more credits. It's slower. Right now it takes 12 seconds. So if you go over that, and it's just as a big and. I haven't had anybody experience this yet. But if you go over it and their servers are flooded, then it would slow you down.
Right.
I've never experienced it slow down. Never. And I use quite a lot of credits because I'm always teaching different stuff, right? You're trying all different kinds of stuff. So I've never experienced it slow down. If it did slow down, it went from 12 seconds to 14 seconds, which it can do on any day.
You know what that actually tells you, though, is the people who are complaining are the ones that are not even going to use up all their credits anyway. Because if you had enough work to use up all of your credits, you'd have enough money not to worry about that little tiny thing.
Then you're a professional, right?
The people are just going to complain to complain. This is what we do.
I know, but what do you say,
this is what we do.
Eric? What do you say to people? I would just say, so you're willing to write a check? Look, write me a check for $1,300. I'll pay your monthly. I'll pay your $10 a month. Just write me a check for $1,350.
I'll add you as a user,
and I'll subscribe for you, and you'll never see a monthly payment. Just send me $1,350, and I'll make your payments. You'll never see a payment.
That's smarter. My response would have been womp womp.
I mean, I just don't even know what to say. But anyway, it breaks my head. All right, that being done, did you go to the Build conference in New York?
No, I was hired to go to France and photograph a couple in Mont Saint Michel. So how was New York? I heard it was raining.
That's the best comeback I've ever heard. I was at, did you say Mont Saint Michel?
Mont Saint Michel. Yes. I have photos.
We're going to take a break. No. No, hold on. That is the best excuse ever. The reason I was asking was it was a show like the old days. It was like a pre-COVID. It was absolutely slam packed.
I heard 2 years ago it was like that too, because it's every other year.
Oh, this is
Even better.
oh, this was double.
That's exciting.
The trade show had to be a third as bigger, much bigger. But it was, I stood inside the hall, and the line went all the way down the sidewalk and around the Javits, all the way to the end of the Javits and around the corner.
How many people you think?
It had to be. I mean, I shouldn't even make guess because I'm not a pro at. But I'll say this: I haven't seen a jammed show floor like that since well before pre-COVID. I don't mean 2019. I mean like 2016.
Yeah, you were talking like 2014.
Yeah, you're talking
Like
like
Photo
old,
Plus
old
back in the
days,
day.
like Photo
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah.
when they were at their height.
Yes.
When it was just crazy and people were everywhere. It was nuts.
Why do you think this one's working? Like, why not
It's
imaging?
B&H.
Why not just because it's
B&H.
B&H?
B&H are the only people that could pull
It's
it
the
off.
perfect person to do this.
Yeah.
Perfect company to do it.
Yeah,
Why?
they honestly, they're the perfect ones.
Just because they have the relationship and
they
it's
have
like, no,
relationship
come be a
with
part of this.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
You can't say
but-
no to B&H if you're like, I don't know,
They
Manfrotto.
also
or-
had tons of classes. I sat in on
Yeah.
Christy Shirk's class. She did a whole class on portrait retouching using AI.
She's my
which was
favorite.
very interesting. I learned some things. You always do. I didn't get to go to as many classes, but what I try to do is I try to go and see other instructors that are teaching, in different booths and stuff.
You know
But-
what I liked? I did see they had a lot of instructors that were not like your typicals. You had some of like the staples, but then you had like Peter McKinnon that was
Yeah, they
flown
had
in.
a lot of influencers and
Yes.
content creators. And there were, I will say, this is the most number of straight up content creators. Now,
like that.
New York is the place to get the content creator crowd, right? If you hold the same thing in Birmingham, there will be no content creators.
But also, if you hold the same thing, because another company tried to do this sort of content creator type vibe to replace Photo Plus, and
I
they
remember.
tried to do it in New York, and it just flopped. So I think what B&H did, at least from what I saw of the people, it was a good mix of pro photographers and content creators. It
Yes.
didn't just market to content creators, which I think is kind of what made the other
Right,
one
yeah,
fail.
there was plenty of there was a lot of photographers there. Adobe had a big booth. I was going to show you a picture. I got to speak in
I'd love to
Adobe's
see. I mean, I saw all my
booth.
friends. I mean, I had a little bit of FOMO, but then I was like, oh, I'm just going to go
No,
eat,
you're not
eat
allowed to have
eat a baguette,
FOMO. You're
and
not
it'll
allowed
be
to have
fine.
that.
A croissant in France
Hang
really
on, I'm
gets rid of
scrolling
the
through them. I got a
FOMO.
million photos in here. I do a lot of iPhone photography, so hold
Wow.
on.
Are you
All
just
right.
showing the whole world your camera roll? That is
Well, I wasn't
bold.
supposed to, but All right, so here's a couple of pictures of me at the Adobe booth. Terry took these while I was teaching there at the Adobe booth. But
Those are full
what I wanted
seats.
to show you was the steak I had for dinner. Look at
Where
the
did
size.
you go?
And there was Russell Brown a second ago.
Yeah, Russell was
That
there.
character.
But I wanted to show you. This is me in the clouds.
Oh yeah, there
But
you are.
I wanted to show. Give me 1 second, guys, before you keep scrolling through
He doesn't want
my thing and see.
all of his
yeah,
steak
their whole
shown.
camera
Yeah,
roll.
thank you for showing that.
The
Yeah.
things that you would find if you went through my camera roll, it'd be such a mix of like receipts, children. What's this mark that I have to send to my doctor?
I shot a video. Oh, here's a video. Here it is. Look at this video outside the walls, right? So look at this. I shot this from the second or third floor. Look at that line.
It's incredible.
And it's a fast moving line and it never emptied. It went all the way around. And look, it's a fast moving line.
And I imagine on the inside, it's a bunch of wrapping lines.
Oh, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was just absolute. I've never seen Photo Plus like this. So congratulations to B&H for doing such a great show. And like they had an audio section just for like content creators, right?
That's
they had
exciting.
video, they had audio, they had photography tracks. They had just editing tracks. It was a phenomenal show. I mean, it really was. It reminded me of the heyday of shows. Photo Plus in 2014 or 2016. I mean, it was, and everybody was
That's
there.
exciting 'cause we've
Canon,
been missing.
Nikon, Sony, everybody had big booths.
We've been missing that community, those big shows.
It was great. It was
Mm-hmm.
very heartwarming to see everybody back together. And then there's people you only see at those shows, right? There's people that if you don't go to the shows, you don't see them. So Eric, you weren't at the show either. Were you by any
No.
chance? Were you in France? Were you? Were you at Mont Saint Michel?
No, I was not in Mont Saint Michel. So
No, me either.
unfortunately.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's but I got to go to New York, so that's something.
There you go.
I got to go to Carmine's and Keen's Steakhouse. That's where that big steak came from.
Did you get a good bagel or pizza?
I never got a bagel. I never had breakfast the whole time I was there. I was just always busy with stuff. But all right, so we're going to take a short break. When we come back,
before we take a break, though.
Oh, say
don't
stuff.
You got prizes? Don't you got prizes to give
right.
away today?
Yes,
we got
thank
prizes
you.
to give away. Like
Do you
we're
know
probably
what
gonna
they
give
are?
away. I don't know. I'm going to say that we're probably going to give away a copy of On One's No Noise.
Yep.
Probably going to be one of the things. We're also probably going to give away a V flat from V Flat World. Maybe
that's
possibly.
probably right.
We'll see. Now this is US only, so it'll have to be US only on that one. We're going to give away a couple books. I'm not sure which books because
I'm sure
up here in the Smoky Mountains. So
I can
take
tell
it
you,
away.
we are giving away a copy of my Crush the Composition book, which is right here. Oh, it's heavy. This book right here.
Yeah, there.
So it's a very cool book. Look, it's 5-star rated. Every book I've ever written is 4.5 stars because there's always that one person that goes, "This never should have been printed."
It's the same
So-
guy that's complaining about
Yeah,
Photoshop
Yeah,
prints.
it's usually like, and Adobe should bring back the perpetual license.
But people have told me more than once, and they've even written in reviews that they think this is the best book I've ever written. I've written 109 books, so that's saying a lot. But anyway, that's this book. We're going to give away a copy of this. We're also going to give away a copy of How Do I Do That in My Tesla? What the hell? So before Elon Musk lost his mind, I wrote this book for Tesla owners. And I wrote it with my dear friend Terry White, who is a total Tesla nerd. Now, I have a Tesla. My family is
the other thing, Scott, what's funny is Terry White wasn't a Tesla nerd until you made him a Tesla nerd.
Wait,
Right?
I didn't make him a Tesla nerd. You made me one,
I know,
I made
I
Terry. Eric was he was an early adopter. Eric had a Tesla when nobody knew what a Tesla was. Right, I've had them for 10 years. My family, my wife and my daughter and myself are on our 14th Tesla. So we've had I'm driving number 14 right now. But anyway, this is for people who go, I wonder if my car can do this. There's stuff in here that you will never figure out. So if you own a Tesla and you want an incredible book, it's hardcover printed. It's like 280 pages, and it's just one thing per page.
Can I ask you a question about that?
I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Of course.
Have you gone to a graveyard with your Tesla yet?
Have I gone to a graveyard?
Yes.
Did something happen?
Yes.
What?
Oh yeah, the
Creepy ghosts
could
walk
see.
around.
Yeah, you can see in the visualization.
Look,
I'm
I'm not driving into a. Now maybe that's a Terry. So I wrote half the book, and Terry wrote half the book. I could see Terry writing that. I did not write that in my chapters, and there's no way in hell I was going to test it to make a screen capture.
So creepy.
Yeah. Oh, So do you have a Tesla?
I do not have a
How
Tesla.
did you know that piece of Tesla trivia? That's very interesting.
Well, it's my Instagram algorithm is pretty honed in.
Yeah, it definitely shows you that. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, we're giving away a copy of this, and I would only get this if you have a Tesla or if you have a friend that has a Tesla, because it will be useless to you if you don't. All right. And then
I think
what
we'll
else?
probably give away one of those Platypod grips there.
Yeah. This honestly is a phenomenal iPhone holder. Like it'll attach to a regular tripod. It'll attach to the little disc that you can get from them for really cheap. But it is a top notch, and it's not top notch price, which I think is pretty cool. All right. Also, I got a copy of my new travel photography recipes book. So these are recipes where basically
cool.
I show you a picture, and then I just tell you how to make this picture, which sometimes says you have to fly here. No, it doesn't do that. It tells you all the photographic things you need to do to make, like what are the characteristics of the picture? What are the camera settings? What would you need to do? Would you need to be on a tripod? Would you need a filter? Would you need this? Would you need that? All that kind of crap. So anyway, just got my first copy today. You can get it on Amazon. Let's see what else. We're giving away a V flat. Oh, you talked about that, didn't you?
Yep.
No
yep.
noise.
US
Oh,
shipping
wait,
only for that one.
wait. we are giving away Erik Kuna's first book ever, the Night Photography book, which you can get the ebook now. The paperback has not arrived yet. It's still being printed in South Korea, where all books are printed. I'll say this for the South Koreans. They print the hell out of a book there. Their printing is absolutely phenomenal. So it's top-notch printing. It just takes forever. Anyway, but it's the Night Photography book, and it is written in the same vein that we do these books, right? There's one thing per page and one illustration, and it's just really, really easy. And there it is, the Night Photography book. So go get your copy, written by Mr. Erik Kuna himself. All right. Can I take a break now, Erik?
Yes, take a break now.
Christina, just from the other side.
Yeah. We got to get to the portraits. We got to get to the portraits.
Yes, we have portraits coming up, and we have some shout-outs. Stick around. We'll be right back. We're live on the grid.
Are you ready to capture the world and master your photography? On One's photo editing gurus have joined forces with KelbyOne's photography training experts to show you the way. These world-traveling pros and masters teach their secrets at the On One Travel Photography Conference. Get their best tips for shooting smarter and editing like a pro using On One's cutting-edge tools. Why join? It's live, interactive, and packed with actionable advice for all skill levels. No travel needed. You get full access to all sessions for a year. Yes, you heard that right. You can revisit and study every lesson for a year. This will transform your travel photography forever. Sign up now and capture the world like never before.
Howdy folks, Moose Peterson here in what's been my playground for decades, Yosemite National Park. This is part of KelbyOne's National Park Series, and we've got something very special for you. Well, whether you're a first-time visitor or you've been here many, many times, it's gonna be new every time. We're gonna start off at Tunnel View, a place that's gonna get you revved up. We're gonna take you up the trail to Yosemite Falls. And we're going to take you up personally, intimately with these places. Where do you go? Where do you stop? What cameras do you take? What lenses? How do you make it really simple and easy, not complex, so you take in all the places here, and that comes through in your photograph, your passion, your love for being outdoors, and of course, Yosemite. So come along. This is going to be a marvelous class for you to get inspired. It's going to be exclusively on KelbyOne.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Scott is here, and we have Mr. Erik Kuna. Hey, Mr. Kuna.
Hey,
Hi.
Scott, you're
Hi.
here.
And we have Vanessa with us as well.
Oh, hello.
And Vanessa from France.
Vanessa from France. I actually don't enjoy France.
You don't?
I did, I've been to Paris once. Maybe I didn't enjoy the food or the culture. And even when I was there, I enjoyed the scenery, but maybe it's because it's a touristy area. The food was kind of Like my steak did not look like your steak.
Oh, okay. Well,
My
yeah,
steak,
that
I could barely cut it. It was awful.
So the thing about French cooking is, the secret to French cooking is this: they use an insane amount of butter. And if at some point it just becomes so good that it doesn't matter what really you're eating, it's just butter.
It's just butter.
And so,
See, I'm Italian.
But honestly,
we like to have all the other
oh God,
flavors.
I love Italian.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When I go to Italy and I eat food, It's just a totally different experience.
Honestly, if you go to France, there are wonderful restaurants, but there's also crap. It's like you're anywhere else, It's just like
Right.
here in beautiful Oldsmar, Florida. Where we were in Oldsmar, Florida. We have great restaurants like Olive Garden. Just kidding, just kidding. That's the one everybody loves to hate, but you can't even get reservations at Olive Garden. Olive Garden is like killing it nationwide. But if you mention Olive Garden, Olive Garden is like it's like McDonald's. Everyone tells
Everybody-
you I never go to McDonald's. You
everybody
can't even get
loves-
into McDonald's.
It's salad and breadsticks. You can't go wrong with salad
It's
and breadsticks.
salad and breadsticks. It's
come on.
unlimited, by the way.
Come on.
You're not limited.
No,
You can get
you
more.
have anything you want.
I want more breadsticks. They just keep bringing
Mm-hmm.
you breadsticks. If you ever now, honestly, all joking aside, the Olive Garden catering is quite good, but they give you so many breadsticks. Like if you say I'm going to get a plate of lasagna for 8 people, they'll give you 140 breadsticks. It is just I don't know what. It's just like they're just throwing them in there. It's so many. You only have breadsticks for 6 weeks.
It was a few years ago. Did you
Speaking of
see the photo
breadsticks,
shoot
Scott.
that someone did recently? It was like they wanted an Italy photo shoot, so they went to the Olive Garden in the front, and they just did a whole photo shoot
in front of the Olive
in front of
Garden?
the Olive Garden, and
It
it
looked like
looked like it
Tuscany.
was an Italian, like
I
Tuscany
bet.
photo
I
shoot.
bet.
Yeah,
That's actually a pretty good idea.
it's not bad.
All right. I want to give a couple of
So-
shout outs and we're going to look at images here. So we're saying hi to Jared from Yorkshire. Mindy's here from Santa Rosa. William's here from soon to be rainy Cape Coral. Buddy's here. It says, oh, it's Denny. Denny says, it's 3200 Buddy is the name. But Denny says, waving hello from southern Arizona. Graham's here from a hot Malta. Jennifer's here from Huntsville, Alabama, the Rocket City. Barbara's here from Yolo County, California. Claire Jones. Claire's here. Greetings from Lady St. Clair and Dr. T, who are in Ely on the gorgeous Fife Coast in Scotland.
Wow.
Well, it's not Mont Saint Michel, but it's okay. Lovely to hear from you, Claire, and please give my best to Dr. T, or Dr. Jones as he's known. I like the way his name constantly changes from Dr. T to Dr. Jones. Polly's here from the great state of Texas. Kaleo is here. I'm sorry. It's Aloha from Herb on Maui. All right, there we go. And Claudia's here under a heat dome in Toronto. All right, welcome. All right. Hey, here's some comments. Tev says, the photographer's plan is great. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And then Gail says, well, see, I don't know if these are the right names or because. Yeah, I think it. Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean, like, there's
Top
a
or
name
bottom?
missing from the other one above it. Like, scroll up here. Sorry, I'm having to. Like, there's no name for that. Oh, that's Nina. Nina said the photographer's plan is great. Tevi says every person with a cell phone is a professional photographer. Gail says I am in awe of Vanessa Joy. Her honesty in her work is amazing. In her amazing work and life.
Oh,
wow, that was a very nice comment.
That's really nice.
Rory says Moose has been posting some killer photos. Can't wait to check out his latest course. So Moose is doing a class as part of our national park series. We've been doing all the national parks. And we're not going to do them all, but we're doing a whole bunch of them. It's a nice series where we take you on location. You're right there with the instructor. Dan has a dad joke. Why did the photographer get kicked out of the part? He kept flashing everyone.
Ba-dum-ching.
Dan. All right, let's roll on. Dave wants me to say something about Project Indigo. Sure. There's a thing called Project Indigo. Project Indigo is a new camera app that is free that was released by Adobe, and it does some very interesting things, including very, very long exposures. Rick Salmon did a side-by-side test this week where he took a 10x zoom on that camera, and it looks better than the regular optical 5x on an iPhone, even though it was shot on an iPhone. So it's new. It's kind of an advanced camera. It's like they're calling it an advanced camera. It uses kind of advanced math, and Adobe put it out kind of quietly. Like, we're just going to put it out
very
there
quietly.
and
Very
see what
quietly.
happens and see what people think. And but it's been getting a lot of love, surprisingly. And maybe it's
I've been using it. I love it.
well, of course
I love
you've
it.
been using it. Yeah, that speaks to the advanced camera phone photographer that is Mr. Kuna. He does things with his camera that should not be done. All right, can we look at some images for goodness sakes? All right, let's take a. Let me hold on. I got to do one thing. I got to move these over here. The bridge. Oh boy. So hang on a second while the bridge takes, of course, 45 minutes to an hour to launch.
I was going to say, you still use Bridge.
No, but if I put them in Lightroom, then it winds up in my Lightroom catalog, and now it's just a pain in the butt. I get it. So I use the bridge. The bridge stinks. There's a reason why it's free. Anyway, let's look at these first 3 photos. Here we go. 3 photos. Photo number 1. And Vanessa, just so you know, it's better to look on my screen. That screen over there is just not very good.
Not as calibrated.
I don't know why.
Okay.
And there's this one. And then there's this one. Now, I had to brief Vanessa on the rules of it, which are basically, these are blind critiques. We don't know the people's names, and we don't tell the names because we don't know their names. Every file is named Grid 1, Grid 2, Grid 3, so we can give very honest critiques. And so, Vanessa, I'll let you take the first stab at this, besides the clear white balance issue that we have. But we'll just kind of, or maybe his beard and her hair are blue. It's possible. Wait. That.
I don't see blue. You see blue?
Come on. Move it over a little here.
All right. Well, this is much warmer. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I'll show you. Let's do a side by side. I might be hypersensitive to it, but look at his beard on the left, and it wasn't a crazy one, right? It was a little bit blue.
little bitty.
All right, but that's not the problem with this photo. But I'll let you take a look at it.
You know, the problem with this photo, if we're going to start there, is a rim light would have helped because they're floating heads.
Yep.
That's like a big one for me with lighting. But then also, I'm big on hands because you can have somebody smile, but emotion and what's really going on usually happens in the hands, and he is just gripping onto her pretty tight there. Yeah. But on a positive note, good job with the head positions. That, classic Monty Zucker eyes to mouth distance between the two of them is there.
How about the cut off fingers?
I am not a perfectionist when it comes to the fingers part, because looking at this right now, they're going to print this as what, an 8x10, 11x14, and then you're not going to see the hands. Yeah. That's how I think of those things.
Weird. Why are we
Honestly, I feel
why are we
like,
printing at 8x10? I know we all do it.
I know, because the stores don't sell 8x12s.
Stupid stores. 8x12 is the size we need.
Yeah.
Nobody made an 8x10 in like 20 years. I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah. No, but they still make 8x10s.
How do you feel about the lighting?
It just needs that rim light at a minimum. I mean, the rest of it's not.
You know what's weird is it looks like he's got a bit of a light. Just him. It doesn't show up on her. On his left side. Am I right? Yeah, look on his cheek.
Yeah, that left ear.
There's a little bit of a light. Like, look right here.
I think there's only one. Look at the catch light.
Or no, it could be just his hair.
I think it's just his hair. Yeah, I think it's just his hair. His hair.
Nope, you might be right. All right, and then this one.
I went first last time, Scott.
Okay. The general problem I have with all the lighting is this is probably the best one of the 3, but it's just not flattering, right? It's just not flattering lighting. For example, he's shooting at a low angle up to them. This is what you do when you want to make people look aggressive, right? Everybody looks better. I mean, and can you see the camera? Can you see me real quick? When people take selfies, watch a pro, watch a young teen taking a selfie. Do they take it from here?
I went over this in my course.
No,
Do they take it from here?
Above the head.
They take it from up here. Why? Because this looks better. What did this seemingly professional photographer do? Shoot from down below. And it, number one, it creates distortion, which isn't good. I don't think that the lens that they did is doing them any favor.
Well, no, look how small he looks.
Yeah, he looks very small. So you've got the wrong lens, you've got a bad angle, and the brightest thing in the photo is her décolletage. Give me 5 points for using décolletage. Thank you. Décolletage. That's a French word that was probably used at Mont Saint-Michel this very week. All right, so this one, it's just, and the lighting is like he's got a hot spot on his nose. It's just not flattering lighting. If you look at well, Vanessa's work or anyone's work that does good lighting, the lighting should be beautiful and flattering, and it's just not. These are just, it's just flat. And if you look at where the lighting position is, look at it. You can see it in his eyes and her eyes. The light's straight
it's more
in front
dead
of them.
center.
And they're not doing beauty lighting. I mean, this is like dead straight in front of them. So you don't have flattering shadows. You kind of have, you don't have any depth and dimension.
Scott, you know,
Yes.
one of the things, you know, that I mean, we're going to have our meeting here at 4:00 for the inner circle, and the one of the things we do in it is we give assignments, you know, and our photographers to go through assignments. And this last one, you were teaching them on flash lighting, which is what they're using in your flash. One flash. And the direction and the shape of the lighting is so important. And what's interesting is, you know, I know you don't look at them before, but I look at the images before.
Yeah,
and this series, everybody nailed it. Everybody nailed it.
Really?
Because once you understand the direction and the shape, lighting has a formula to it all the way back to the classic painters. That's why we use those as the examples.
That's why it's called Rembrandt
this is
lighting,
one
right?
where
The
it's just flat. If you got that, like you talked about, you get that 45 degrees over, 45 degrees up, that's like your starting point, and you sculpt around that, you're just gonna have better results. And I was so surprised. This is one where everybody that's done it, I mean, there's not a single one that didn't nail it.
Seeing them. In the meantime, I'm looking at these images, and look, you look at her eyes. She's got they got like a light on either side. Like, the lighting is just bad.
It's too flat.
It's JCPenney portrait style.
JCPenney portraits, exactly.
It's like it's lit. It's just lit.
Yeah. And this one too, there's like, where's the light? Straight in front of them. Why are you putting the light straight in front of them? Look, if you do nothing but loop lighting, you're just going to give them a very nice, flattering, you know.
Yeah.
I remember getting a book on lighting years ago, and the book had it was like 100 lighting setups. 87 of them had the main light in the loop lighting position at a 45-degree angle, right?
Yeah.
Or over to a Rembrandt, somewhere in there. Out of 100 setups. No, they put lights in places and put gels and everything, but the light that was lighting the subjects almost always, why would they put it at a 45-degree angle? Because it's very flattering. This photographer said,
there's a formula.
I'm not going to do the flattering stuff. I'm going to put it right in front of them. You know, like they're, you know, in an operating room or at your dentist. This is where your dentist puts the lighting. I'm sorry, but like this, I'm afraid that this is a professional photographer, and these are not professional shots.
I totally get what you're saying, but that's what it is. It's like lighting, being able to control light is a very powerful thing. But usually with that power comes great responsibility, because we can really screw it up.
They've given up their responsibility. All right, let's move on. We know that they've got all kinds of stuff they need to work on. All right, that's number one. Let's look at number two. Hey, now these, you can see the thumbnails. These are better. Yeah.
That's my favorite, the cowboy hat one.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you know who that is?
I don't.
It's my niece.
Is it really?
That's Sarah.
Oh, who took this then?
I didn't take this. I lit it. I didn't take the photo. But yeah, so
look at
we
the
have
directional
this thing where
lighting.
we bring our VIP and inner members can come and spend 3 days with us.
Okay.
And we do all kinds of photo shoots, and we set up all kinds of stuff. And Sarah was our model, and that was set up with one light in the studio next door. And that looks really nice. And this one looks really nice.
Ooh,
I love the
that one.
reflection. And this one, Joe McNally has a great saying, and he says, if you want to make something more interesting, only light part of it. I think this is terrific. It's a little weird that her legs are in that black boot and it just kind of disappears. So I might even just crop that out.
I think so, yeah.
Go on what do you think?
Right at the shin, yeah.
Yeah, a little tighter one. Hey, also, can I tell the control room? Kuna's volume to me dropped by 75%. I was hearing him really well, then all of a sudden now he's like, beep, 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 beep. So I want to be able to hear what he has to say. But
I see.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
They love messing around with it.
I know they love messing with that stuff.
They love messing around with it.
But whoever this photographer, I mean, your comments?
My thing would be the pose. Like for me, her arm in that one right there is bigger than her face.
Yeah.
So either control the light so it's not the same light power that's on her face as on her arm, or just back it up a little bit so her face is closer to the camera than her arm.
Yeah, and you could do that in post. You could darken that arm there
Yeah.
pretty easily. That one's your favorite. This one's pretty good too,
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm. Those are all great.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, he's back. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
This is my least favorite, and I like the device, and I like that there's a little light behind her. You can see they put a second light there. I like the device of the reflection, and I did a shot like this years ago, but with a clear one that was featured in a series of ads for Wacom, that I like that device. That's my least
It's
favorite. The
interesting.
three, but not bad.
Well, the other ones tell more of a story, right?
Yeah.
The other one, why is she wearing that? Why, what is she thinking? Because this one is a little bit more sultry. And then the cowboy hat one, that's more of a character versus just a face.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, great. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at about 15 sets of images today. So, Mr. Kuna, stick around. Get yourself some barbecue while you're there. There's good barbecue. Have you been to Memphis? It's
on the other side of the state.
Oh, sorry. So just have a burger. Is there a Whataburger? Could be. Hey, we're getting one in Tampa, by the way. Just announced yesterday. Whataburger in Tampa. Check it out.
Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like this. Well, you know who looking like this for real. Well, you know who looking like this.
All right, you just came back from some amazing vacation, some fantastic place, like maybe you were in Spain or you're in France or you're someplace amazing, and you've taken a lot of good shots, but what's gonna make them fantastic shots? I gotta be honest with you. It's that stuff you do in Lightroom and Photoshop. It's that post-processing stuff that's gonna take them to the next level. And I'm gonna take you there. I'm gonna take you through all of it. I'm gonna share all of my favorite travel photography editing tips. And man, I got a bunch of them because there's things we only deal with in travel photography that you never have to deal with, like in landscape photography or portrait photography, like power lines and tourists and removing distracting things and all kinds of horrible things. But you can also add things that make your images look phenomenal. And I want to uncover all of this. We're going to cover everything from beginning to end. I'm sharing my very favorite travel photography editing tips and take you through the whole thing. I'm going to start you off in the right place. We're even going to talk about organizing. I'm going to show you how to make beams of light all inside a Lightroom. You're going to be able to add effects and things to your photos that are going to make everyone so jealous they're going to hate you. I want them to be like, how did you get these? These are amazing. These are incredible. And I want them to be jealous of you, and I want them to feel bad, because that's what travel photography is really all about, is making yourself higher and lowering those. No, I'm just kidding. No, you know what it is about? It's about creating images that inspire people to go to those very same places. And I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Come and watch my brand new class on how to edit your travel photos. And it is only found one place. It's exclusively at KelbyOne.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we are back. Vanessa and I are on the set. Mr. Kuna is Skyping in from somewhere in Tennessee. Woo! And we're looking at images that were submitted by our viewers. We don't know their names, so we can be truthful, so we're not like just being harsh, but it may be kind of, let's move this out of the way. Not trying to be harsh. We're trying to just help.
Honest help.
Yeah,
honesty is necessary.
All right. So let's.
And this next one's about to get it for sure.
I'm going to make this here. All right.
Uh-oh.
You said uh-oh.
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 Oh.
This is the first one. Uh-oh. Vanessa, I'll let you take this one.
You know what photography means, Scott?
What photography means?
Yeah, like the definition of photography.
Painting with light.
Painting with light.
Study of light. Right? So that's what's missing here in all of these images is there's absolutely no consideration for the light that's happening. The pose in a couple of them are like fine, the cropping not so much, but the light is just, it's killing me. There's no light in her eyes. Instead, we're lighting the back of her arm, which is pancaked to her
The arm
body,
and the shoulders
which
just
is making her
white.
look much larger than her entire face. And then I will have to say, because you know the young kids have ruined it all for us today, the lighting in her eyes, how it is right now. I recently had a model that I did a photo shoot with that she specifically wanted lighting like that. However, when you understand lighting to begin with, you can make a shot look like that kind of lighting work if you know how to do the rest of the things. But unfortunately, the rest of the things are not happening here.
No.
Mm-mm.
I like the leading lines, the thought, but again, where's the light? What's happening with the light?
Yeah, so you know what? Opening up by a stop and a half would have really helped here because it would have lit her face. It would have made the background brighter, but who cares? You can always just go to a select background and darken it another stop and a half.
Well, you could, but then even the light on her face, like where's the light direction? There is no light direction,
Yeah.
so you're just messing around
Yeah,
with
it's kind of
exposure.
over her head, right?
Just like pop a reflector in there on the silver side, like just get something in her eyes.
And finally,
It's just the light, and then the background is not doing any favors.
the background is not doing any favors. And you have dappled light on her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally, you'll see someone pull off a dapple light shot that looks really nice. This is not one of them.
No.
No. This is very subtle what you said there. No. No. All right. So it's light. It's light. You're not doing anybody any favors with that lighting. Let's go and look at this one. Give me a second to get it in place. Okay. Here we go.
Every photographer has this photo of themselves.
Yep.
I have it.
I kind of like this photo.
I'm not mad about it. I mean, it's super cliche, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think he's looking in the viewfinder.
Don't think he's looking in the viewfinder?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's very possible.
Because in order for that, I think he's a little bit to the side of it. That's okay. Only we would know that.
Now he's floating arms and head, and you're okay with that? Could brighten it up a bit.
Honestly, if it's going on social media and you crop it vertically and you take out the left hand entirely, then I'm not totally mad about it. But yeah, the floating head thing is an issue.
You could also just go to Lightroom and say select close.
What,
would
change
select
the color?
shirt, and you could open up the shadows so it stands out from the background. It's
yeah.
not a floating.
Not floating as
Floating.
much.
But I this is all right.
Such a hot spot on her forehead. As much there.
Yeah, it's not as bad on my screen as what we're seeing here in the studio. Again, the light's straight in front of her. And it doesn't mean you can never put the light straight in front of somebody, but I will usually do that on someone who's got great skin. Or someone that's got a lot of wrinkles and you're trying to...
Well, that's what I kind of think maybe was
Maybe
supposed
it's
to be
doing here.
happening here. But if you can get the same kind of effect if you just raise your light a little bit, get a reflector underneath, and you fill in your
Right,
your
just fill in the shadows, yeah. And then lastly, so this isn't a portrait, really. This looks like somebody walking by and you took their picture. So a portrait is when you're working with the subject and the two of you together are trying to create like they're working with you. If this is somebody just walking by, and you took a picture of them, it's not a bad picture, it's just not a portrait. It's a street photo.
Very
It's just like
snapshotty.
if you shoot somebody on stage, it's not a portrait. If you shoot them in a concert, it's not a portrait. if you shoot them walking down the street like this, it's not a portrait. It's street photography. That's okay. It's just, it's not a portrait. This is a portrait. That's a portrait. This is street photography. But not bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me take a look at one more. And give me a sec here.
Have you ever pulled up an image and it like wowed you? You're like,
Oh,
oh my
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, we
Oh,
see.
yeah,
Oh,
all
we
the
see
time.
ones that they're killer.
Yeah. Oh.
Speaking of killer,
This is coming back, I have to say, this trend in
the spot color.
the spot coloring. I mean, I remember doing it with like chalk back in the day, literally by hand. But, and then we did it digitally back in, 2002. And then now, yeah, I have seen it start to come back again. I'm scared. I was scared. Oh,
I like that.
okay.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, I would have liked the light to not be so harsh on his face because it's distracting. But
Yeah, because look at it on his
concept.
nose is pretty bright,
yeah, the concept is great.
and you don't want to look really at his nose. You want to look at the. This is a device, right? They're doing the reflection of the piano in his glasses. It's a device.
Yeah, it's just that nose and the temple is a little bright.
Yeah, those two spots. And look on here because that one looks a little. We could get a better screen in here.
He did not crush the composition.
No, he did not. Unless this was going to go on the cover of a magazine, we left a lot of headroom above there, and you kind of cut off almost like at his chin.
Chin, yeah, it's
Cutting
a
off
weird.
the top of the head is very
weird
common. You see it a
composition.
lot, but you don't really like to cut off the part of the chin or cut them off at the neck there. It's
And then you got
lighting-wise,
again.
It's not. They tried. They put a little gel and everything.
Yeah, but then you got that hot spot on the nose, and then right above the lip on the right side, on the cheek.
Yeah. Yowzer. All right, so
Yeah,
Okay.
not bad.
yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
But
Let me see if I got another one here. I think I do. Right here. Give me a second to get it open all the way. Okay, here we go.
See, this is more my jam.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
a couple
like
things I
that.
don't love, but like give me on location instead of in a studio any day.
Yeah. No, location's great.
Yeah.
And the lighting looks nice on her.
Mm-hmm.
And the pose looks okay.
The pose is what I would change for sure.
Yeah, well, just the hanging
Yeah.
salami arm is not the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then cropping at the joint, but also like where's
Yep.
the other arm?
yeah,
Where
the other
is
arm's
the
like
other
getting
arm?
lost.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think it might
Well,
be
it's just
slightly on the
peering.
bottom.
It's just peering out in the bottom.
But this is so much
There.
better than anything we've seen today. that
Yes,
we're like,
yes,
Yes.
and I'm not like the light
Agreed.
direction's good. Her eye direction is good. All she would have had to do is like hold her acorn. I call it like just put her hands right here, hold her acorn.
hold the acorn.
Yeah.
I like that. This one looks. So I know it's supposed to be a dark photo, right? It's supposed to be a low-key photo. But it looks underexposed.
It's underexposed. Yeah.
It looks underexposed because your low-key photo isn't supposed to be just underexposed. It's supposed to be, kind of dark and dramatic, but not like wrong exposed. Anything else with this one?
No, I mean I feel redundant saying we need another light in there, like rim light or just the light
Yeah.
direction in general would have been better. Push back further away from the camera so you sculpt it out. Some shadows there.
So it was interesting when we looked at that other photographer today. So I shouldn't say there. The other photographer that had 3 black and white images with my niece in there. And
Oh,
all,
yeah.
right. So those were one light, but they were exposed properly. They all looked like they were on black backgrounds, but they were able to manage those things to where everything looked okay. Like everything looked right. And that's what we're talking about. Sometimes if you don't do everything right, you got to put a second light in there to give some separation from that black background, or it just looks like they're kind of floating in space. And this is one where a second light, I think you're right, would have made a big difference here. Just some kind of a rim light behind him, kind of so you can see where his body ends and starts and all that stuff. There's a little something back here. I don't know how it got back there.
Oh yeah. I don't know either.
Yeah.
But the whole thing just looks underexposed. I mean, it's
Yep.
just straight up. It just doesn't look bright enough.
Well, this is my world, the world of weddings.
The world of weddings.
I know the answer, if the photographer's watching this, to the rebuttal rather to what I'm going to say, but you definitely need a longer focal length here because right now she's just looking too, the back of her is looking too large. And if you
Yep.
had a longer focal length, and I know they'll say, I didn't have room to back up, which could be true. But in that case, we need to go vertical and crop off more of her because that's all she's going to see. I like the image. I like what she's doing. Even the light is good for, the available light you had in that moment. But it's kind of getting just killed by what I'm seeing on the right. That's not as flattering of her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If the photo isn't flattering to your subject,
They don't like it.
they won't like it. They're
Yep.
not going to buy it.
Nope.
They're not going to put it. They don't want it in the album.
Nope.
They're just like nobody wants an unflattering picture of them, and that's I would totally agree. That is one. All right, let's take a short break. How are we doing on time? Oh my gosh, we're out of time. Well, let me get some more images. We're going to run over a little bit today, folks. So it is what it is, but stick around. We'll be back in just a moment on the grid. Don't go away.
Hello everyone, I'm Leonard Johnson, award-winning fashion and beauty photographer. I've had the opportunity of working with several large brands across the nation and across the world, top stylists, makeup artists. And so for this class, I'm going to introduce you to something that I'd struggled with early when I started shooting, and that's shooting in a small space. So you're going to learn lighting setups, whether you're in a garage or a room. These setup you will see just minimal changes. You're going to get the light setting, you're going to get the camera setting, you're going to get all that you will be able to achieve the same look and feel, and you will transform the looks. You will have iconic images. Plus, all these different looks I'm teaching you is applicable to all different kind of portraits in your small home studio. So come join me in my latest class in KelbyOne.com.
Hey guys, I'm Karen Hutton and welcome to my class about Zion National Park. This park is absolutely gorgeous and it makes me so excited to be part of the greater National Park series that KelbyOne is doing. Zion National Park to me is really special. I've been here many times. Throughout this class you're going to see footage of me and scenery from other trips, because I really wanted to give you a full experience of the place over time and different conditions and so on and so forth. Zion is really a big, big park, and you're going to want a car. We'll talk about other ways of traveling through it. But just as an overview, I think of Zion in 4 sections. One is Kolob Canyons, there's Kolob Terrace, then there's the Scenic Canyon on the beginning, the east side, and then the actual east side on the farthest other side of the park. So buckle up, we're going to cover all the areas and some of the specialities that each one has to offer, some of the things to be careful about, to be prepared for. We're going to talk about gear, we're going to talk about all kinds of things. So come join me on my latest epic class on KelbyOne.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hey, we are back. Scott, Vanessa, and Mr. Kuna out there cooning around. Let's look at some more images. Let's just get right to them. Let me get this open all the way. And here we go. Here, I'll just look at all. I'll look at all three, and then we'll go back and take a look. Well, there's hope for humanity. There's hope for humanity yet. All right.
I am not personally a fan of this editing style, but a lot of people are, for sure.
And how would you describe this editing style?
Just a little bit more like dramatic skies, definitely shot like higher aperture, desaturated color a little bit.
Yep.
Just very, very obviously lit with a flash, versus subtly working with the light that's there.
Yeah, I would have not liked to see the light on the columns and all that. But you know what they did do? Down. But they do have reasonable fall off. If you look, her face at least is bright. Her shirt is unfortunately too bright. Her blouse is too bright. But they didn't light her feet. And I always see people like, they're not doing fall off. The light is so far away that it's lighting them, and their feet are as bright as their face. But at least there's some reasonable fall off. But her blouse is very bright. Which I don't know about you. Now, you're always having to deal with brides. But if I'm doing a portrait shoot, I tell them to wear solid colors and not white and not black.
I always have to deal with white black because that's just wedding dress.
Black
and
tuxes and white gowns.
Yeah, I use Canon, so I always turn on, mostly, not always, but mostly turn on the highlight tone priority. So that I just get more of the detail out, but it's always a concern, especially if they have like a silky dress or a satin dress versus a lace dress. A lace dress, I get detail in there all day long. It's fine. Satin dress is just a reflector in my photo. It's so difficult to work with.
Yikes.
This one's so lovely. The only thing,
is lovely, isn't it?
I mean, the lighting, it's good. The only thing is the hand posing that I'm not thrilled with. Like if she just have I see the back of her hand, if she just had given it like a little bit of a turn and a pop.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
great.
Hey,
can you see her when she's showing this? Can you guys in the control room, can you see Vanessa?
Her hand's here. All it needed was a little turn and a pop. Like pop of the wrist, turn, and then that's going to be better.
Turn and a pop.
Turn and a pop.
It's like bend and snap. Mm-hmm. Turn and a pop.
I show people in the course how to do that little turn.
Do
and
that?
A,
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We go over it because hands are difficult. Hands
are tough.
Especially if you have someone that's like not a dancer and doesn't know how to, gracefully do that.
All right. And then the last one here.
I love
we
this
can't
one.
really, I'm going to make this bigger here. Oh, I just rotated it. I thought I was going to open it in camera. Oh, it's not going to open, is it? We'll open it with Photoshop. Hang on. Because at least if over here it'll. There we go.
I kind of like your rotation.
That's unfortunate. There we go.
This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I wonder if they entered it in competition. That's why they have the key line around there.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nicely lit.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah. Nice reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like reflection was added in post with a little bit of motion blur. 5 points for the little Photoshop technique.
If I can make one adjustment to this, because I'm confused about her, and let me see. Yeah, I'm confused about, is she concentrating or did she just lose? So body language plays a lot when it comes into portraiture. So her head is telling me that they just lost, but her hands are telling me that she's ready to play. So either take the hands and droop them so I can tell, okay, you've lost, or take her head and have her gazing intently forward, and that's telling me she's ready to play.
That's good. That's a great insight. Very nice. All right. Good stuff here. Good stuff.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, very nice. All right. We needed that one, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me see. Have we done this one yet? No. Let me get this opened up correctly. Let's try to grab the right corner. There we go.
I'm getting excited about the hands that are about to pop up.
All right, here we go.
So hands a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
Little tense. I would have told her to, normally I say play piano with your fingers to loosen them up, and in her case I would have told her to play her flute. Just kind of where it is. So there's a little less tension in the fingers, but Definitely less distracting, because if they had put like the back of the palm or the palm towards the camera, it would have been like brighter than her face. So I feel like this was good control.
Yeah, and they got nice fall off. Right? Her face is the brightest, and you got kind of Rembrandt lighting. You got that little triangle of light on her cheek. So yeah, I think it's quite nice.
And look how there's no rim light, but it's working here because the light was controlled elsewhere.
Yeah. And the light looks nice on the flute. The conductor, backstage, no less. I like the blue gel in the background. And you got a rim light. Rim light looks a little hot, but any thoughts?
It's engaging. He's smiling. He's happy. I like it.
He's
I'm sure
holding
he
his
likes it.
baton. Yeah, that's nice. A young Elvis.
I like it. The only thing that's weird to me is his legs. It took me a second to realize it was his legs and not like the floor meeting the wall behind him.
Yeah.
But that's just something. I feel like a photographer would notice. This person will like their photo perfectly fine.
All right, so Kimberly says, thanks for the critique. I can totally see where I need to improve, and we'll get to it. Well done, Kimberly. You know,
Nice.
this goes one of two ways, Vanessa.
Do you get angry? Do you get nasty grams?
We
yeah.
get angry emails. Very. They mention our mothers and everything. They get
that's
they get
nice.
nasty. But then you have people like Kimberly that go, "Oh, okay, this makes sense. Okay, and you can guarantee that if Kimberly submits again, none of the things that we mentioned today she will have fixed them, which
Yep.
that's what this is about. Obviously, if you send in your own images, it's helpful. But I think watching other people's critique and going, if I do that, I want to make sure I use two lights. There's some separation from the back. Like you can take all of these and use them yourself. So congratulations to Kimberly.
There's
for
also
taking
another
it in the right vein. Yes, Mr. K.
Another thing that usually happens is there's the angry email followed up by 3 months later going, I should have listened. I'm not angry anymore.
There is that. We do get some people that
Yeah.
do that are thoughtful about it and come back and say, I was upset that day and all, but I took your advice, and they see a difference, and then they're like, okay, all right. Here's a question from Andres. Do you mostly use two flashes when you're doing portraits?
I don't typically, but that's also because I'm usually on location running around like a lunatic, and it's not a good experience for my clients if I'm running around like a lunatic with two flashes. It's usually an experience thing for me.
Yeah, for weddings, it's tough because then you're setting up a whole shoot. Do you run and gun? Do you have an assistant with a do you use a monopod and mount the light, or is it light stand, or what are you doing?
I have an assistant. She holds the light when we need it for kind of the run and gun situations. But then if we're like doing family portraits and I know I just need a light up for a while, then I just have it on the light stand. But my assistant stays right next to it because people are drunk at weddings.
People are drunk at weddings. All right, let's take a look at this one. Here we go. This is called, the name of this one is Terrified Bride.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
She looks terrified.
Yeah. And, sometimes you have brides with crazy eyes. And the only piece of advice I can give you is have Zoom sessions with your brides first, and don't agree to photograph the ones with the crazy eyes because they're always a problem. Every time.
Yes, and they're not going to like the photos because they'll see their crazy eyes.
You know what? Yeah.
So it looks like there's a sax player behind him. So this looks like not necessarily a portrait, but more of a. No, they could have set up this shot because it's a weird place for the light to be coming from.
Well, it's stage uplighting maybe.
Yeah, I mean it certainly could be. I like the old-fashioned mic. Not necessarily a fan of the creepy lighting.
It's Halloween lighting for sure.
Yeah, it's Halloween lighting. That's a good one. Good name for it.
That's cute. Cute expression.
Yeah.
But we lit her hand, not her face.
Like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need some light up under there to her face. And this is stuff you can do in post. There's no fall off, but I guess maybe what she's wearing is very important.
Oh, 100%.
Right. So
Yeah.
you don't really want to, this is a traditional wedding outfit.
I think it is. Yeah.
So then the gown becomes very important. But her face, this is so easy to fix in post. It also looks, everything looks a little blue to me. This, I don't think that's supposed to be blue.
No, that should be white, I'm pretty sure.
Right, it should be white. So it just needs a white balance adjustment to bring that over to white.
There it
Somewhere
is.
in there.
Something like
There
that.
it is.
And then here, we'll look at
Oh,
this.
it's better.
We'll look at the side by. Yeah, that was blue. But while you're there, you could, now the easiest thing to do is just grab a brush and just paint a little light in there and, just a little more light in there. That's her whole face. But you could do it with masking and stuff like that. But a little more light there and a little less light on her hands would not kill you.
It's cute though, Again, I always look back. I've been a consumer photographer really my whole career. So I always look at things, like, is it the best photo in the world? No. Is your client going to notice? No. Then you did your job. As long as they like it, as long as they're happy, you get to keep working another day. You get to keep getting your bills paid and buy the gear you want to buy. And
all right, that's a 60-second
there you go.
fix where I took the highlights, I lowered the highlights on both of her hands and her arm, and I fixed the white balance, and I brightened the exposure overall too, because it was the all exposure was a bit dark, and it probably could use maybe just the overall highlights back just a hair, so it doesn't start to lose anything. But I mean, you are clipping a little in the reds, but I mean, I don't worry about clipping too much if it's just a single channel. But if this triangle turns white in Lightroom or Photoshop, here we're in Camera Raw, then I would be concerned. But yeah, that's just an easy tweak. But there you go. We're not just out of time. We're 17 minutes over time. So let me look at one more. Give me a second here, and we'll do the giveaways. Let's do the giveaways first. Here we go. Congratulations to these folks who won some fine prizes. How about Randy Melton won the Crush the Composition book. Stephen 353 won the Tesla book. William Simonelli won the, what did William win? The V-flat. Mike Barksdale won the On One No Noise. Gary L. won the Night Photography book. Let's go. And then Dan also, Dan didn't win anything. Dan just did not get to win. Only Gary got to win. Jack Clemens won the Platypod grip. Now, how do you get these prizes? I have no idea. No. Tell them, Eric. Tell them how to get their prizes.
All they're going to do is they're going to email gridprize@kelbyone.com, and then they're going to verify your information and then get your information, send you out your prize. Just make sure to do that by this Friday, please. It helps everybody if you do that.
It helps everybody. Everybody loves to help everybody. Hang on, we'll wrap up with this one. Here we go.
Okay. This is colorful.
Oh yeah, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of AI retouching on her face, but this is colorful. It's definitely, but it's pretty.
I like the lighting on this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wish her eyes weren't so far over, but not a total deal breaker.
Kind of fell apart on this third
Yeah,
one.
I would say this
It
one
was
is,
like,
yep.
this is doing really good.
The
This
third
is
one
doing
does
really-
not
what
look
the
like the
hell
photographer.
happened
Like,
here?
what happened?
You
What
know,
happened?
this is a really good piece of advice someone gave me when it comes to like your portfolio and your website. People will always judge you by your worst photo. And if you keep that in mind, you can really cull down your portfolio appropriately.
I agree. Now, looks like her white balance could be a little warmer, but there's all kinds of problems here. But
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like it's
very
not even the same photographer.
Yeah.
yeah, it literally looks like a different photographer. So maybe you're seeing
Yeah.
something in this photo that we're not seeing. I'm seeing the white balance. Her skin was a little clammy. on the left. And by the way, Vanessa, we deal with this every single blind critique, every one of them. It's like, well, because what it is I think that a lot of photographers know not to shoot in direct light.
Right.
You can shoot in direct light if you really know what you're doing, right? Like Cliff Mountner does amazing things in direct light and stuff. There's things you can do photographically in direct light that are very flattering. Your subject looks great, but it's not many people. However, many people do know to shoot in the shade, but apparently those people do not know to switch their white balance to shade. That's all you have to do. You moved them in you've got half of it right. They're under an awning, they're under a tree without dappled light. They're in some kind of a night. Just take your camera and switch it to white balance. And while you're there, go ahead and give me $1,350 for the perpetual version of Photoshop. What? Sorry. Anyway, that's it. Switch your white balance.
We're gonna start doing that.
We're
gonna
gonna
start
leave it at
selling the perpetual license of Photoshop.
Yeah,
$1,350.
Yeah, we'll just call it the perpetual.
Tell
we'll
us
just make your payments.
what your Adobe license is, and we'll just make the payments.
We'll make the payments. Absolutely, but you're not getting the upgrades.
No.
You got to pay for the upgrade.
That's
so in
right.
18 months or a year to 18 months, when you want new features, you got to pay us another $150, which is basically
Which
a
is
whole
basically
year.
it's
a
more
whole
than the whole year
of it.
subscription.
Ay, ay, ay. All right. Hey, so before we go any further, so Vanessa, where can people go find you and your work?
VanessaJoy.com, and then choose your own adventure from there.
Come on, look at these pictures.
Oh, well, this is the wedding. This is the wedding site.
Oh,
but
my
if you just
gosh.
go to VanessaJoy.com, that is will let you know where the photography education is, linked to YouTube, and if you want me to photograph corporate weddings, that's all there.
Oh, these are gorgeous.
Thanks.
I'm going to go ahead and critique them.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's perfect.
I do.
Those are perfect.
Wait,
Those are stunning.
Dang, even the direct flash trend I got going on there, it's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
a thing.
Those are very good. Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's our harsh critique of the day. Don't change it. Don't change anything. People are flying you to France to shoot their shots. Don't change anything. All right, and they can find you on Instagram?
Yeah, Vanessa Joy, everything Vanessa Joy, no matter where you go, except TikTok. Some Vanessa Joy out there stole it.
What?
So you got to look for Vanessa Joy photo.
That's bull.
You know.
There we go.
There it is. There it is.
Look at these.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to critique these. Don't change a thing. They're perfect as they are.
If you go anywhere, though, actually, if you go to Instagram, I started a nonprofit. If you go to Instagram and just send me a DM that says Prints for Water, that's what I'm really passionate about right now. So if you do anything, that would be amazing. It's 100% of the proceeds go towards building clean water initiatives in Kenya.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for being on, Vanessa. Thank you for
having
giving
me.
your honest critiques. Thank you to everybody that sent. I know that it's not easy to send these in.
No.
Especially when you're
not
going
at
to
all.
get an honest critique. I've been through honest critiques. Like I've had Dave Black do and Dave Black is a legend in sports photography, do my sports portfolio. That was a fun day.
That would be
I almost
scary.
sold all my gear. I had Joe McNally do my portraits. I almost sold my gear that day. I believe me, I've been through them, but they're sitting right next to me, and they were harsher than we've ever been to anyone on the grid. Joe's like, "What is this doing in here? Why do you have this?" Like Joe's yelling at me. I'm like, I was
Oh my
deleting
God,
stuff
that'd be like
while
my
he's
father yelling at me.
like I'm
if Joe
deleting
yelled
it
at
while
me.
he's talking. I'm like, it's not in there. I don't know how that happened. That was a mistake. Someone hacked my account. I'm like, what do you say? Anyway. All right, Mr. Kuna, I will see you this afternoon.
Yeah, see you in an hour and a half.
All right, great. We'll see you then. Vanessa, thank you again
Yeah.
for being on the show.
Thanks
we look
for
forward
having
to
me.
your course. And guys, make sure if you're not following her on Instagram, go do it right now. Go do it. Come on. You like looking at amazing pictures that don't need critiques? Go there. There you go. It's Vanessa Joy on Instagram. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to my crew here. Thanks to all of our sponsors. See you guys next Wednesday, 1-ish. See you then. Take care, everybody. Oh, that was some